minute. I want to talk to you. Mama says you're brain dead. Bang your head against the wall. Bang, 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 bang. Can't find peace of mind. Brain needs an overhaul. Bonehead, brain dead, we're all the same. You can't think straight when your heart is in pain. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
The views expressed on this broadcast of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show are those of the co-host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of our affiliates. Mm-hmm. The topics and opinions on today's show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice. Take 12 Radio is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, here's your host,
the man, the myth, the legend,
the Monty'man.
I'm telling you the truth, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace is the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay your burden down.
Stop right there.
I can't. Everything just went dark.
I think it's the Monsters Inc. cup.
Welcome to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. We're starting out a little weird. Tony's in the studio.
Good morning, y'all.
Marv is here.
Yes, I am.
There he is. There he is. And Denver's here, too.
Of course.
Of course.
Too many buttons on the on the board to push.
I love bloopers, though.
Do you love bloopers?
Yeah.
Do you? All right, good.
It could be a show full of them today.
It could be a show full of them today. That's
just mine.
For sure. Yeah.
Our listeners today.
You know what? I forgot to do this last week. Let me see if it's still on here.
You're not taking a picture, are you?
No.
Because I didn't straighten my hair.
No, I got this from Gina. Get this in an email from Gina K. It says, Dear Monty, Marv, Denver, and Toni, thanks for your program on outgrowing your 12-step fellowship. Remember that one we did? Mm-hmm. Did we ever outgrow our 12-step fellowship? She says, was just what I needed to hear. I have not been very faithful to attend my meetings using excuses of weather. We have had a long, cold winter in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah, business, thinking. These are the excuses she's been making, I guess. Maybe I don't need this anymore. That's what she's been thinking. Thus isolating myself, then feeling sorry for myself, etc. Appreciate you all. Keep keeping on, Gina.
Aw.
So
very good.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So she heard that. She was starting to get stagnant and kind of pulling back, and that show helped her. You know?
Excellent.
So right on. Gina K. from Nebraska.
I wonder what part of Nebraska. Because I've been to Omaha, and that's
Obviously
some flat land.
Obviously the west.
Isn't it all flat?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
I have no idea.
Help us, Gina.
Because they talk about the sand hills, so it can't be all flat.
So there's got to be. Okay. Yeah.
Probably.
So the topic this week is abstinence versus recovery. Is there a difference? Well, we'll find out. We'll be talking about that soon. But so we don't go backwards. The sound clip was Stop Right There, followed by this.
It's time for Monty'man's Weekly Whine.
My rainy baby.
Your rainy baby. Well,
It's a thing now.
Soggy britches.
Soggy britches.
Okay, so I'll give you mine, and then I got 2 emails. I got 2. Remember, I invited people to send in a wine, so they did.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yes,
nice.
yes. But mine is the price of Scotch tape.
Oh, glad you got that tape in the last there, because I thought we were going south right off the get-go.
$9 for 3 rolls of.
Go to the dollar store.
No, but that's crummy Scotch tape.
Oh, Jesus.
You pull it and it goes, and then you try to break it off on the thing, and it's like rubber. It won't snap.
This is the best part ever. Keep going.
You're complaining about quality.
The quality of the Scotch tape at the dollar store is very bad.
All right.
So if you want
Quality
Magic Scotch brand tape, almost $9 for 3 little rolls. That's ridiculous. And then the thing I really hate about tape is when you don't bend the end of it.
Then it gets lost.
And it gets lost in the roll, and then
Yeah.
you try to peel it off, and then it kind of goes sideways, and
Then you get like half of one.
yeah. This is 2019. You would think that they could fix the tape issue.
Weak. Wow. I hope the listeners have something better for us.
All right. Email number 1, Dear Monty'man and crew. With everyone getting offended over every little thing these days, as soon as I read that sentence, I thought,
Right?
this is going to be great.
This is the one.
I thought I would put my 2 cents in.
Here we
Last
go.
week, I went to my local Walmart and purchased a Black & Decker weed eater. It's top of the line and cost me $169. It works great, with one exception. It doesn't actually eat weeds.
Huh?
It only chops them up and spreads the weeds and seeds all over the place. I've written Black & Decker and I've requested that they rebrand the name of their garden tools as not to deceive people. Weed eaters don't eat weeds. Stop calling them weed eaters.
Right on.
It's false advertising. Thank God I don't have to drink over these issues any longer.
Hallelujah.
Awesome.
We
That
need
is, like,
feedback
number
feedback on that from Walmart.
That's
We
Sarah
need
J. from Fresno, California.
Good job, Jay. I like you. I
Oh,
like you.
my gosh.
That's awesome.
Wow.
He actually has a very valid point.
Yeah, really.
But awesome.
Here's email number 2. Hello, Monty, Toni, Marv and Denver. I have been attending AA meetings now for over 5 years, and I'm sick and tired of people claiming that the newcomer is the most important person in the room when I'm the most important person in the room.
Hallelujah.
Peter R. from Salem, right up the road here.
All right.
He signs it restless, irritable, and discontented.
Howdy.
I agree, Peter. No, I'm kidding.
I think that's awesome.
Both of those. I love the weed eating.
Oh, man. So there you go.
Maybe Peter and Jay should get together.
I don't know. Yeah. Your weed eater is the most important garden tool in your garage.
There you go.
So that's it for the weekly whine. All right, we're gonna take a break, I think. Yep, and we'll be back after this.
There I was in my business suit, all dressed up, just uptight as I could possibly be. And I don't remember much of what was said at that first AA meeting. It was more the feeling of the meeting itself.
That's what has kept me going. I know it works, and I see the people ahead of me with more sobriety. I see how happy they are, and I want that. I want that too.
And what I notice about AA is it sort of helps me to relax and learn to really be happy with my sobriety. It's a richer life to live.
That's exactly what Alcoholics Anonymous does. It teaches us how to live without drinking. It teaches us how to have fun and really enjoy life without drinking.
This program's giving me the good life. The only good life I've ever known.
Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
All right, everybody, it's time for Take 12 Trivia, brought to you by that award-winning recovery magazine, the 12-Step Gazette. Visit their website at 12stepgazette.com. Now take it away, the Monty'man.
Thank you, Cecil. Okay, so on this episode, we're going to play a little recovery trivia Jeopardy style. And we're going to give you, the listeners, an opportunity to win the book, Basic Prayer and Simple Meditation. A recovering alcoholic talks about beginning sobriety by Mike D. And the book actually has an endorsement by Take 12 Radio on the back. So we're going to give you an opportunity, and we'll tell you how you can win that here in just a minute. So let me explain what we're doing. We've got categories, just like in Jeopardy. We have the F word, dangers in recovery, 12-step basics, miscellaneous, and recovery slogans. So you guys are going to have an opportunity. We'll go with Denver first, then we'll go with Toni, then we'll go with Marv. And the higher the points, they go 100, 200, 300, and 400. The higher the points, the harder the question. Or I should say, the harder the answer. So I'm going to give...
even made a graph, listeners, if you could see this.
Yes. So Denver might say he wants to pick a category for $200, and then I would give him the answer, and then he would ask the question. And for example... what do you think, Marv? Time to go?
Time to bail out.
Saddle
in the
up.
middle of all this.
Saddle up.
So if the category was literature for $100, it may go something like this. We're told to read the first 164 pages of this piece of literature. And the answer the question would be, what is the big book? And so that's how that would go. All right. So if you get it wrong, of course, and if you get it right, we'll give you...
Be hearing a little of that on my end.
All right. So,
I
Denver
hate
first.
tests.
I know, me too.
I'm going to put the knife to my throat immediately.
Okay.
Oh,
Dangers in recovery for 400.
Wow. Dun, dun, dun.
Get ready, everybody.
All right. Dangers in recovery for 400. Getting into a sexual or romantic relationship before an addict is prepared to handle that relationship or its demise may lead to...
What is disaster? What is relapse?
You are correct. 400 points for Denver.
Denver got it.
Very, very good. All right, Toni, your turn.
I will follow in Denver's shoes. I will take the F word for 400.
Don't do it.
Wow.
Don't do it.
Wow. All right.
What's his name on Jeopardy? I was going to call Monty that.
The F word for 400. Happy, joyous, and...
Free.
Oh, you
Nope.
didn't do it right.
Oh, what is free?
What is free
Yay.
is correct.
I almost... I'm leaving now.
Okay, Marv, your turn.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Marv.
Come on, Marv.
Pick a category.
Oh, man.
Think of your horse.
Miscellaneous 200.
200. This was begun in Akron, Ohio in 1935 with a chance meeting between two alcoholics, one a doctor and one a broker.
Who is Bill W. and Dr. Bob?
What?
Okay, here's the answer again.
It's Silkworth.
This was begun in Akron, Ohio in 1935 with a chance meeting between two alcoholics, one a doctor and one a broker. Denver or Toni?
What is AA?
What is AA is correct.
I had your
I
answer,
told
too.
you I don't like games.
Okay, Denver.
What? Already?
Yep.
It's your turn.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to pick something, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, how about miscellaneous for 400?
Miscellaneous for 400. Meetings are self-supporting through this.
I know this one, and now it just totally went blank. What is through ourselves? I can't remember.
What is through ourselves?
Yeah.
We're
Can you reread that?
Yeah, but you can't answer it. It's not your question.
What is self-supporting?
Okay, we'll give you that through our own contributions. Yes, absolutely.
Contributions.
All right.
These are hard.
All right, Toni.
And we should know this. That's the sad part.
I did. I didn't know the wording.
I thought he was asking about the doctors.
Exactly.
You know?
Toni?
I was waiting for the question. I will take recovery slogans for 400 to doc.
Recovery for slogans for 400. Trust God, clean house, and...
Oh, Lord. Take inventory. What is take inventory?
Wrong. Marv.
Oh.
You can take a shot at trust God, clean house, and
My mind's blank. I'm telling you, I'm on the spot here.
I know.
My mind's
Denver?
just blank.
Repeat the question.
the answer is
Or
trust
answer.
God, clean house, and
I don't know.
We all failed.
help others is the answer. Help
Oh.
others.
That's why I don't help others.
Okay, Marv, your turn.
Oh, no.
Ah,
This is fun.
no.
All right. We'll try 12-step basics for 300. If I'm gonna
Oh,
lose,
Marv's
I'm
going
gonna-
big or go home.
Do it, Marv.
All right. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity.
Wasn't that the whole thing?
That's the answer.
Oh.
What is the question? Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. What is tradition one? What is tradition one?
You almost sound like a game show.
I know.
All right, we're going to go with Toni and then Denver, and then we'll mix it up here a little bit. Toni.
Yeah. Oh. F word for 300, Jack.
What? I did not hear a word you said.
F word for 300.
F word for 300. In active addiction, addicts often lose this.
What is faith?
Denver.
What is sobriety?
It's a F word, though.
Oh, F word?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is...
Focus? What is focus?
What are friends
Faith.
would be the answer. What are friends?
Dang it.
All right, Denver,
That's why I
your
have
turn.
both
Your
friends.
turn, and then we're gonna give Marv one more chance to redeem
Come on,
himself.
Marv.
Denver,
You
go
got
ahead.
this.
I can wrap this up right now, can't I? Recovery slow. No, I don't want that. How about miscellaneous 300 is open? Let's do it.
Ooh, miscellaneous.
All right. The 12th tradition asks members to place this before personalities.
Ooh!
What is principles?
Principles is correct for 300. Good job. All right, Marv, you have a chance to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Come on, Marv.
Believe me, it's a slim chance.
You got this.
Recovery slogans 400.
Recovery slogans for 400.
Go big.
I thought that was
You already
taken
did
already.
that. Already did that one.
You got to do 300.
Okay, 300.
Okay, finish this sentence. Be part of the solution.
What is be part of the problem?
We'll give it to you. What is not the problem? So that's
Good job, Marv.
we'll give that to you. All right. So
Marv is now on
that's
the
the sound
board.
effect right there. Okay. So everybody's going to have a chance. This is your grand answer. All right. And if you are listening to the show and you want to take a stab at this, be the third email to send this in. It's timestamped, so I'll know who you are. The third email to send your the question to the answer. Are you ready?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. You'll have 30 seconds. Write it down. Do not say it. All right. Here is the answer. Premeditated resentments are...
No, I don't know. I know this one and I don't.
All right. The answer is premeditated resentments are... Toni.
What is failure?
Wrong.
Oh, dang.
Premeditated resentments are... Marv.
What is anger turned inwards?
That would be incorrect. Denver.
Oh, golly.
That was
Can
quite
you
the
say
laugh.
Can you say the question again?
Premeditated resentments are...
I don't know. I'm going to pass.
All right. The answer is, what are expectations?
All right.
There you go.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's not do it again
Co-hosts
for a
on the
while.
show. We're sad examples.
I dare you to do this on horses.
Yeah, huh?
Next time you'll have horse
I got
Jeopardy.
a couple topics we could touch on too.
Oh my
Failed
God!
miserably.
There you have it. There you have it.
Alex Trebek would not
Alex,
be proud
that's
of
his
me.
name. I kept calling him Jack.
That's right. Wasn't that fun?
That actually was really fun.
Nobody won except for our listener who's the third email in. And so probably will, because we're good alcoholics and addicts, what probably somebody will do, will listen to the show, hear the answer, and then try for it.
And you're really honest
But-
about your emails and winning because I won that big book.
Yeah, you did. But whoever's the third email with that, yeah, we'll send you the book. Basic Prayer and Simple Meditation by Mike T. All right, so the topic on this episode is abstinence versus recovery. Almost said resentments. So one of the issues that seems to be very apparent, particularly with newcomers within our recovery fellowships, many times is this idea that if I simply stop drinking or stop using, that all will be well. If I just remove the substance from my life, everything's going to go hunky-dory. And what we find out more often than not is that's not the case. You know. So here's my question to you guys. When you first came in, did you have that idea in your head that if I could just stop drinking or using, my life would be better by doing that alone? Was that something that crossed your mind when you came in? Or did you know intuitively it was going to take a lot more work than just abstinence? Toni?
Is that like the first time I walked through the doors?
Yes.
To be brutally honest?
Yeah.
I just wanted the law off my back.
You
I
wanted the
didn't-
law off your back.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
nudge from the judge brought me in, like
Right.
you say. But after a while, and I can't tell exactly when, but I know it was a few months, it started sinking in. And
Right.
then I knew I wanted it, and I knew I wanted to do more. And that's when I found one of my first sponsors. Actually, she came to me, which was really weird. I wasn't expecting that. So right there is God's work. But
Did she come to you and say, "Hi, I'm your sponsor, your new sponsor"?
no, she came
or-
to me and she goes, "I think you need some assistance, and I want to help you." I'm like, I need all the help I can get. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that was, I guess I've never had an aha moment, but that was like the first time I realized that there was a God again, I guess.
Right.
Because somebody came to me, and usually I can just BS people and manipulate and be
Sure.
like, I got to do this.
Right.
So I mean, that's just my honest.
So when
answer.
did you discover that this was more than just abstinence?
Probably from my sponsor, and I won't name her name, but she actually made me dig deep and realize that there's more than there's underlying issues to how you're feeling, and you have to dig deep.
Right. Right.
And it's an everyday thing. It's not just once.
Was
and
that
you're
painful?
done. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Marv, what about you? What's been your experience with abstinence versus recovery?
I'm kind of surprised you would ask me a question after our little Jeopardy. After our little Jeopardy trip.
You're still in the game.
You know, really, I kind of sort of never thought about. When I went to my first meeting, I was being a good guy and supporting an alcoholic wife. Okay, and
That's right. Yeah.
and it took me a long time, many months, years, before it finally got through my thick head that I may not know how to spell it, but I am one.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind that, well, if I just put the plug in the jug, it'll
No.
all be better?
No, I'll tell you what crossed my mind. Truthfully, for the very first meeting, I knew I had to change my way of thinking. There was something wrong.
Right.
And I caught it right from the get-go, but I wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
My pride wouldn't, I guess that's what it was.
Sure.
Wouldn't allow it.
Sure. Yeah. Denver, what about you?
Marv, I haven't heard your full story, but I'm always fascinated how you got into your own personal recovery.
Oh.
Not realizing it and then realizing it. Beautiful. Abstinence over as compared to recovery.
Yeah.
Putting the plug in the jug was very important, obviously.
Sure.
So that takes a little bit of abstinence there.
Yeah.
That you got to stop, and that's what I wanted in my life, was to be able to stop. It's not been an easy process. Through what I've gained so far, and it's every day, recovery's every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm in recovery, and just not drinking, I believe, would end up a losing battle for me.
Yeah.
It's got to be bigger than just putting the plug in the jug.
Mm.
You start doing the soul searching that you spoke of, things get deeper, and you start digging in. You go deeper into yourself, and you realize there's a bigger issue here than just my drinking.
Yeah.
And you want to go farther at that point. Putting the plug in the jug is not. It's an important thing daily, but it's not the biggest thing daily always, because you kind of forget about drinking when you start thinking about the other areas of your life that you want to be better in.
So when you start pulling the covers back on some of this stuff, sober, and when I say sober, I mean without mind-altering chemicals. I don't mean not drunk, but free from mind-altering chemicals. And you start pulling the covers back, and some of this stuff starts getting exposed. Some people feel like drinking or using again, right? Because it can be very painful.
You made a comment about it would all be better.
Mm-hmm.
It is better, but it's never better. I mean, life's got its complications, sober or drunk. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be there tomorrow.
Sober or drunk.
Sober or drunk.
Right.
They're going to be there.
Right.
So being of sober mind, you learn that you can deal with it. With drinking, I just put it on the back burner till tomorrow, and things never got done. In fact, as we all know, they get worse. If you don't take care of issues, they're going to get worse.
They just fester, and yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, the newcomer thinks it's all or nothing. Like, they have to do this all right now. But it's a daily process. It's a daily refrain. Is that a word?
Reprieve.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that's, I guess, what took me a long time. And I know it takes a lot of people a long time to get it sometimes. Because I would hear these people and like, oh my God, I want that. And, how did they do it? Did they do it all at once? But you can't do it all at once. And that's okay. And I think sometimes you're shamed by others because you can't do it all.
Because you can't conquer the giant monster.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I've worked.
Yes, it does.
People that I've sponsored in the past, many of them were like, how can I get this done today? How can I solve these problems? People want to jump into making amends before they ever even get halfway through the steps.
Yeah.
And it's not time yet. The first week that you're sober is probably not the day to walk into your creditor and because you're still kind of reeling, and maybe you're angry, or maybe you're just beginning to feel some of the stuff on life's terms instead of under the influence. It might not be the right time to go make amends yet. You may want to have a little guidance in that area. But I know for me, when the fog cleared and I started facing things on not just life's terms, but God's terms, some of this stuff was so revealing, it was a little heavy for me to actually deal with. And so some of my thinking, because Marv really hit on it, you got to change your thinking. A lot of my thinking hadn't changed yet, so my thinking automatically went back, well, I could probably deal with this a little better if I just had one.
I don't know how many times I've went back to my old buddy.
Right.
Because of pressures. And
sure.
It's just, I don't want to say it's part of the program because we've talked about that. It doesn't have to be, but if it is that way, I understand. I think any of us understand that it's a struggle.
Yeah.
On life's terms can be pretty grueling.
Right?
Mm-hmm. One of the things that it's sad to witness, although I've learned over the years that lots of times we just don't know what God's up to in somebody's life, and so you don't want to make a judgment call on something, but it is sad for me to witness sitting in a meeting and watching somebody white-knuckle sobriety, and nothing in their life is changing at all. They're just abstinent. Mm-hmm. That's it. They're still shacking up with their, significant, they call it a significant other, but maybe they've only known her or him for a week. They're still cheating on their taxes. They're still lying about this or that. None of the other behaviors are changing at all, except they're not drinking or using. And I watch this, and they're like, well, I came here to stop drinking, or I came here to stop using. Period. And those folks that are simply abstinent seems to be that they end up returning to what they know so well because the underlying issues aren't being dealt with. We know that the narcotics, the pornography, the overspending, the booze, whatever it is that you're struggling with, those are just symptoms.
Yeah.
And so when we are simply abstinent, we're simply dealing with the symptom only. We're not dealing with the underlying problems that may have been fueling that. Mm-hmm. And I think our rooms sometimes are filled with people, that's all they want. They just want the pain to stop. Mm-hmm. And so they think if they just stop drinking or using, the pain will stop. And then when the pain doesn't stop, they go back to medicate the pain again. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we do people a disservice by telling them, just keep coming back. You don't have to do anything. Just keep coming back. And I understand the heart of that. I understand encouraging somebody to come back to day 2 and day 3, and I think that's good. But I think sometimes we're not willing to step up to the plate. I think those of us who've been in the rooms for a number of years, we have a responsibility to step up to the plate and help guide the newcomer into an arena where their thinking can begin to change. And I think if we don't do that, then we're kind of recovery thieves. We're just kind of hanging out. What are your thoughts, Toni?
Oh. Well, I agree. You got to help the one who is kind of like the lost lamb,
Right.
It's like, kind of like what Pastor Kelly said yesterday. And I'll make a very long story short. But, Jesus came and helped at Mark or Peter's house. I can't remember. I think it was Mark's house. But then, there's thousands of people there. But, and Monty, you probably know what I'm talking about. So
not at the moment, I know.
Okay. So they brought this paralyzed man.
Oh, okay.
Through, it showed on the movie The Roof. I don't know.
Through the roof,
yeah. Lowered him
through the roof, yeah.
So it's kind of like that. I think you have to want to help somebody and also want to be helped and make that extra effort. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Can you help me here? I don't know what I'm trying. It just kind of came to my mind.
Because there were so many people they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So they were so determined to get this guy help.
It didn't make any sense.
That they lowered him down through the roof. Well, that's going to any lengths to help somebody, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if somebody's punched the hole through my roof and started lowering somebody down, I'd be going, that person's determined.
Yeah. I was trying to relate it to the topic. That's
well,
just
yeah,
what
and I
came
think
to my
you're right.
head.
I think that determination that we need to have a passion about giving away what's been given to us to even that degree at the same time. But that's also an example of somebody that wanted it.
Exactly. That's what I said. You
Right.
have to want it too.
The paralyzed man wanted it
Yeah.
because we don't chase people down, right? We may one or two times, because sometimes people just can't get the momentum going, and so we help them do that. But after a while, you have to just kind of step back and go, okay, the rest of this is up to you. If you want to remain abstinent, and that's all you're looking for, let me know how that works for you.
Maybe that was a poor example.
No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think it was a good example. Denver?
I think one of the biggest questions is how bad do you want it?
Right.
Will you go to any lengths?
Right.
And putting the plug in the jug is a wonderful thing because you're going to start thinking different thoughts. But you are going to immediately, I'm almost positive, bump into issues that's going to cause you to want to pick up a bottle again.
Mm-hmm.
The nagging's going to come at you and come at you. So you're going to have to, at some point, putting the plug in the jug is not going to stop the nagging. You're going to have to start dealing with the issues. Do you have anger issues? Do you have this issue? Do you have that issue? You will drink again if you do not deal with the issues. They don't have to be dealt with all at once because they can't be.
Yeah.
But at some point, just remaining sober, I hope, as you said, let me know how that works. I hope it works for you.
Yeah.
But it's an uncomfortable place to be in life. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So I was reading a post from, it was either Kurt or Rick R. I'm not sure. Or they were talking back and forth. Marv knows who I'm talking about.
I do.
Rick moved. he moved. I think he moved to California or something. And
Roseburg.
Roseburg, right? And Kurt, Cowboy Kurt. But one of them had made the mention about it was sad when they hear people say, well, if I'm a horse thief and I get sober, I'm just a sober horse thief. And he said, how sad is that? Because that kind of is what inspired me to look at this topic. If that's all you want is just to be without the substance of choice, but you have no desire to change your behavior sober, and if that's all you are is a sober horse thief, God, I hope not. I'm not a sober horse thief anymore. I got to tell you, I was a horse thief before I ever started drinking. My life was unmanageable before I ever put any booze in me. But now I'm not that guy. I'm just not. And I think in order to change some of our behaviors, we cannot settle for being simply abstinent. I don't think we can settle for that. I think we have work to do. And we lose a lot of people at two steps in particular, step 4 and step 9. Because step 4, we're putting pen to paper and we're starting to reveal and pull the covers back. And that's very hard for some people. And step 9, we're beginning to make direct amends with people. And we're seeing them eyeball to eyeball. And there's a lot of fear there, right? The reason that going into step 9 before doing anything else is bad is because you haven't done a fear inventory yet to help wash away some of the fears. And once you do that, it becomes, I don't know if the word's easier, but I don't know what the word would be. It just becomes more palatable, I guess, to be able to make amends to people in step 9. But I think the rooms are filled with people that they read the steps on the wall, therefore they've done them. I almost wish they'd take them down off the wall because it's kind of like I come in here, I look up on the board, I read them, therefore I've done them. No, you haven't. And so I see abstinence only as being a big issue, and recovery kind of being people skirting around it. So if I'm doing the same behaviors that I was doing before, and I've just removed the substance, i.e. alcohol or narcotics, but I'm still doing the same behaviors, am I in recovery? Am I in recovery, Marv, if I'm living the same way?
Well, I think this whole conversation, we're missing a part that hasn't been brought up yet. And that is the fact people have, not quite sure even how to look. There's people that come into meetings that are sincere about not drinking, but they don't know what to do because their worldview, their experience in life has hammered them into a position where they're actually in a prison. And so what I've seen through the years is people get it when they come to meetings. And, the second tradition is absolutely true. God shows himself, this is a paraphrase, in our group conscience.
Right.
And if they're sincere about not drinking and they're coming to meetings, God will, for a fact, work in their lives and open their eyes and, oh, wait a minute. This is what I thought for the last 30 years or something, and now, that wasn't right. And then to apply that to the steps.
Right.
But then, like they say in the meetings, more will be revealed.
Right.
You're just peeling off one little layer.
Right.
I know so many times in recovery for me, it's been kind of a big giant being baffled because something will come off and I'll get the light, and a day later, something else will come up to show me, oh, no, you're not well.
So the process, right?
The process of that program is ongoing. It don't stop. You don't graduate. It's a lifelong thing for an alcoholic, I think.
So perhaps we judge too quickly when we see somebody simply being abstinent, and there may be a process going on that we're not even aware of, right?
That's what I think.
Yeah,
I really
good point.
And the reason I think that is because they're sitting there. If the process wasn't going on, they wouldn't be there.
Good point. Really good point. Yeah, so what's bringing them back if all they're doing is not drinking or not using? Probably a power greater than themselves.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. And there's a guy right now in Group 1 that's going through that.
Yeah.
And you can tell when I talk to him, you can tell he's just baffled. He says, I don't know why I drink. It's driving me crazy. But when I come to meetings, I don't drink. But
wow.
He knows he needs to be there, but he don't know why he needs to be there.
Right.
Yes.
No. So perhaps we judge too quickly. And so the guy, you're sitting there, he's been there for a year, and you look at him, his life is miserable. We may call it white knuckling it or being a dry drunk or whatever, but we may not know what God's up to. Right?
That's what, yeah.
He may need this rough time to get to the next step of what he's accomplishing in recovery. And we may be too quick to say, well, obviously he's not working a program, but maybe God is. Ooh, what a concept. So on social media yesterday, I read a post about predators in the rooms.
I think I read that same
Yeah.
post. Yeah.
And this did kind of speak to people that were coming into the rooms with an agenda other than recovery. Maybe they were coming in to get sober or abstinent, But once they got abstinent, some of their old behaviors, predatory behaviors, were still going on. And that to me was an example of abstinence versus recovery. And that's a whole nother issue. I mean, predators in the meetings. I mean, there's predators everywhere. They're in church. They're in schools. They're at the workplace. They're in synagogues. They're in AA meetings. They're in CR meetings. There's predators everywhere. But I think that we can even reach them. I really do. I read a response. There was a guy, I think it was a guy that said something to the effect of that he was kind of predatory when he first came in, but now he's changed. I don't know. It's our responsibility to make sure the rooms are safe. But
God working in our group conscience.
There you go.
I almost said that same thing.
Yeah. We could do a whole show on predatory people in meetings. But thank God, God is in the meetings, right? Because we may have an awful lot of knowledge and worked with people for years and all that kind of stuff, but we really still know very little. Don't you think, Marv?
I know I don't know much.
Right. Right. We still know very, very, very little.
I proved that earlier in the show.
I still love you, Marv. Well, I love everybody here, but you all know.
So if you want more than just to abstain, or you're discovering that maybe that's not quite enough for you, and you don't have a sponsor, or you don't have a mentor or a spiritual advisor, you may want to consider listening to somebody in the meetings. You know, I hate to be cliche here, but listening to the similarities, looking at their life and seeing that maybe they have some things that you want, and talk to them. Talk to them. There are people that will be glad to step up and walk you through this process and share their experience, strength, and hope. Many of them aren't going to approach you, though. They're waiting for you to make the approach. Some will approach you.
Yeah.
Right? People who have different flavors of how they do that. But if you're waiting for someone to approach you, you may be waiting for a long time. So if you are one of these that keeps coming back, you're not sure why, but you keep doing, it may be that God's trying to knock on your heart to say, hey, there's somebody in here that can help you be more than just abstinent, but actually help you recover. And maybe that's why you keep coming back. I don't know.
You know, another thing, and I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek saying this, but it was brought up earlier about the newcomer being the most important person in the room.
Right, that letter, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know that.
No, we don't.
God may be working on 2 or 3 other people.
You bet.
So,
yeah.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Closing thoughts, anybody? Denver.
Hello.
I wish the rain would stop in Oregon.
I was going to say that.
I'm sorry. I'm fixing it.
I did it on Denver.
It's hard on my recovery. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
And bike riding in it sucks.
Yeah. Toni rode her bike to the studio today.
For lack
in the
of
rain.
In the rain.
I know sometimes, but just keep coming back. Keep the plug in the jug, and it'll happen. I think, you know, if you're ready, you got to do some work. You got to step forward and do some work, though.
You know, I've seen people that weren't ready, but God made them ready.
Yeah.
Something would happen, and they're like, where'd that come from, right?
That was what I was trying to say earlier, too.
Yeah.
It's like, I did not want to get sober whatsoever. But after a while, God got into my heart. Now I go to church.
Yeah. So if you're frustrated because the people in the rooms where you gather don't seem to be working a program, keep working the program yourself, because you may be the only example of the program that they see. And instead of getting all huffy puffy about it, maybe you just need to be that example and just keep doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you abstinent or are you in recovery? I can't answer that. You have to figure that out for yourself. Marv, have a good afternoon.
May you always ride a good horse.
There you go.
How is your new horse?
A tall horse today. If
How's
you're
Bandit?
crossing the
Name
creek.
A tall, yeah. How is your new pony?
He's doing good.
Good.
All right, Michael Purrington and the Messengers. He kind of makes a kind of a funny song out of this. We played it before. I just love it. It talks about the marijuana maintenance program. It's called High and Dry. This is about a guy who's not abstinent or in recovery. Here's Michael Purrington.
I'm on the marijuana maintenance program. I haven't had to take a drink so far. Every time I'm tempted to go out and get drunk, I smoke a joint and stay home from the bar. High and dry, what a good boy am I. High and dry, yes I am a sober doper guy. High and dry, my chemicals and me fill my life with pharmaceutical serenity. First thing that I did was find a doctor to prescribe codeine to ease my pain. I told him I'm in recovery and he gave me some Valium to keep me sane. High and dry, what a good boy am I. High and dry, yes I am a sober doper guy. High and dry, my chemicals and me fill my life with pharmaceutical serenity. I snort cocaine all day to keep me working. It's 2 a.m. and I am shaking still. But I don't have to pass out on a half a case of brew. I'll just take a few sleeping pills. High and dry, what a good boy am I. High and dry, yes I am a sober doper guy. High and dry, my chemicals and me fill my life with pharmaceutical serenity. Fill my life with pharmaceutical serenity.
Michael Purrington and the Messengers with their song High and Dry. Don't forget to check out all of our other social media pages, the different websites, WordPress, YouTube, etc. by going to take12radio.com. You'll find it all there, along with tons of great recovery resources, workshops, and a plethora of archived shows of the best in recovery talk and positive music right here at KHLT Recovery Broadcasting out of Little Albany, Oregon. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty'man along with the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace in the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
'Cause she's a super cat, she's super kitty, meow.
Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow.